What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our match reaction here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool and Arsenal played out a 2-2 draw at Anfield. And I don't know how everybody else is feeling, but I'm frustrated. I know that the league title is won. I know that. But I've made no secret of the fact that I wanted Liverpool to win this game today. And we put ourselves in a fantastic position to do that and then made a mess of it. And I've got more questions than answers about that performance, particularly the second half. Ibrahim Konate and Virgil van Dijk were nothing short of a disgrace in the centre-back positions today. We allowed Arsenal to run all over us in the second half. And then right at the end of the game, Konate not only makes a mess at one end of the pitch, but makes sure he goes up the other end of the pitch and make sure that we don't get a chance to win that game at the end with a stupid foul. And Arne Slot has absolutely bamboozled me. How do you go and take a great atmosphere, great vibes, and Liverpool fans celebrating and make changes that make us worse and make people boo and take all the momentum out of the game until Arsenal go down to 10 men? I've got so many more questions than answers, but I'm not a happy bunny. Yes, the league title is won, but it is about making sure that we show that we're the better team. And we were doing that in the first half and we capitulated second half. Arsenal absolutely deserved something from that game for the second half performance. They came out and showed fighting spirit that Mikel Arteta will no doubt use to push them into next season. But I'm truly at a loss to figure out where our heads went in that second half. So we're going to go through it all, my friends, over the next few minutes. We do want to know your thoughts, so let us know in the comment section how you're feeling. Drop a like on the stream if indeed you do like it. And of course, we'd love you to hit that subscribe button. Want to quickly say thank you once again to our sponsors, Manscaped. Check out the Chairman Pro package, face shaving kit, or anything else at manscaped.com and treat yourself to 15% off. That is 15% off and free shipping on all orders over $49 with the code Anfield15 or by scanning the QR code in the bottom corner. The legend said, I can't speak on if you think 2-2 was a fair result, but all I can say is fair play and good game. Congrats on the 20th. He's an Arsenal fan, by the way. I just want to make that clear to say thank you, mate. Very kind of you. My thoughts on the game, genuinely, I think a draw is probably a fair reflection on what we've seen there today. I certainly don't feel like we played you off the park and were hard done by or anything. We got ourselves into a very good position, and our lack of defensive awareness or determination to keep a clean sheet is what's wound me up the most, mate. Arsenal played their way into the game, and I've no complaints about you guys taking something from it, but I've a lot of questions about our defensive solidity and what we have to work on. And that goes right the way through to the very first moments of the game where we give away a free kick in a position where Liverpool fans will know we've been vulnerable this season. And what do? We sleepwalk and let Saka nearly put them 1-0 up in 2 minutes. We didn't learn lessons from that, and I'm really, really angry at our two centre-backs because that was Keystone Cops level of defending. Just not good enough. You want to be paid the money Virgil's on. You can't be putting in a performance like that. And Konate was sleepwalking around that pitch today. Tom said, why did he make the changes? Anthony Taylor didn't really help Bradley. Made one bad challenge, instantly booked. All the people to bring on, he brings on Trent. So look, I'm not going to say to anybody else how to feel. You guys are free to put into the chat your own thoughts on the Trent situation and the game, and I'll respect them. But I'm going to give you my take on it. Why bring a man on who doesn't want to be here, who the crowd are at best unsure of, and half of them have turned on him and half of them want to support him? Why would you do that? I don't understand the thought process. What is the benefit to Liverpool Football Club to bringing him on the pitch? You send a message by not putting Chiesa in the matchday squad that likely tells us he's going to be sold. We already know that Trent wants out, and you bring him on. And look, for what it's worth, he was the man playing Marino on side, but the defending was still shambolic all around. I don't understand that, Tom, from Arne Slot. It's like he wanted to take all the momentum, positivity, and vibes out of Anfield like that. And then he brings on Darwin. And again, why? Why? He may as well have stuck on Mighty Red. At least Mighty Red would have stayed on side. Darwin Núñez is an absolute clown as a footballer, and I cannot wait until he's gone, because all he has managed to do is frustrate the shit out of everybody, game after game, week after week, chance after chance, and he doesn't even know how to play himself onside by looking across the line. It's just shocking. I don't get it. Maka coming on, yes, no problem with it. Endo sitting on the bench getting splinters in his backside. Why bring Jota on? He's been off form all season. Like, we made ourselves weaker with substitutions. Weaker. And it's been a trend. It's been a trend this season where we've had to rescue games and brought on players who've made us worse or slowed it down. Yes, he did need to do something because the momentum was shifting massively. But it leaves me with more questions than answers, and genuinely I'm frustrated by that. For sure we've won the league, but basic defending should never be off. What a drastic change from our defence during the start of the season and now. We're not playing like champions, said Alex. Yeah, since we've won the title, we've drawn one and lost one. And that game today, every Liverpool fan wanted to win that fucking game. Make no mistake about it. Every Liverpool fan around the globe wanted us to put Arsenal to the sword today so that we can once again put them in their place. And we started off and raced into a 2-goal lead and came out at half-time like they were already on their holidays, and Arsenal came out feeling like they had something to prove. And that isn't good enough. I don't care at what point of the season it is. You do not go out there with that attitude in the second half and think it's okay. You've a liver bird on your chest. You've a duty to go out there and leave it all on the pitch. And you had a week to prepare. While Arsenal were in Paris running around after PSG, we had a week to rest up and prepare. And we played that second half like we'd no energy. Not good enough. Just not good enough. Samurai Gaming said, Craig, been watching the show for a bit and you help keep love of football and LFC alive and kicking. I stopped watching sports a year ago and recently came back. Much love from Georgia, USA. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Look, I love this football club and I'm proud of this team immensely for what we've achieved this season. But standards need to be kept and maintained. And it doesn't matter. We have been vulnerable defensively from set pieces so many times this season and we've learned nothing from it. And in that second half, I called it 6, 7, 8 times. Arsenal players were getting 10 and 15 yards of space with nobody near them. Arsenal players were getting free headers in our own 18-yard box while Virgil and Canade stood there with their hands in the air praying to God that they were offside. It's just not how you defend, and it's not good enough, and it's lazy. What's Richard Hughes' plan on this summer transfer? Well, hopefully to look and evaluate that defence. Robbo should be fined $5,000 anytime he shoots, because I don't know how a professional footballer can miss so many easy enough chances to get a strike away. Mohamed Salah has fallen off a cliff in the last few weeks. Luis Diaz was okay. Cody Gakpo okay. Why was Darwin brought on? That's what I just can't, for the love of God, understand. Why the hell was he brought on? What did Arne think he was going to do other than what he has done every other time, which is wander into offside positions and run down blind alleys? It fucking baffles me. Ryan said, I feel so bad for Chiesa. Biggest problem is the journos won't ask the questions. Taking Trent over him is unacceptable. Need to get Frimpong ASAP. Look, that's not a defensive performance from Canade that's going to make me, as a club, want to go, oh yeah, 200 grand Ebu, here you go. Because that's not a 200 grand centre-back performance. And Virgil van Dijk, that is unacceptable as well. We were defending like school kids out there. And it's just unacceptable. Plain and simple. Clipper Boy said Canade should stop putting his hands on players. Thoughts on Liverpool not beating Arsenal since 2022? I don't really have any thoughts, to be fair. Honestly, Kieran, I don't. Genuinely, I'm frustrating. Wanted to win that game today, Kieran. I'm not going to make any bones about it. I did. But at the end of the day, mate, and I'm only answering your question. We are sitting here with a Premier League trophy. You're sitting here with a whole load of fuck all yet again. You know, 5 years without anything. One COVID FA Cup using your own terminology, which doesn't count. So Arteta's won nothing. So how do I feel not beating Arsenal since 2022? Well, not too great, but happy enough with a league title. How about you? Harry said, hey Craig, I'm a Man U supporter. Congratulations on winning the league. Can I still come to your live shows because I enjoy your content? Of course, my man. We've had loads of different fans. United fans, Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, all come to our live shows, and As long as you're up for having a good time, you're very welcome along. Sammy said, we won't win a Premier League this easily ever again. Arne Slot has to improve the team a lot and get rid of some of these clowns, such as Nunez and Jota. Look, I would never call Jota a clown, but he has been horrendous in the second half of the season. Will said, frustrating after winning the league, but defence and front line needs refreshing for next season, at least 5 players. Yeah, if there is one maybe positive to be taken from this game as a Liverpool fan, it's that Arne should know now, without any doubt, where he needs to strengthen. We need to bring in a centre-back. We need to bring in a left-back. We obviously need to get a backup right-back or somebody to compete with Conor Bradley. We need to refresh the front line because we're playing with basically 2 wingers either side of nobody in the centre. So that needs to be addressed. And if we can address all of those things, yes, we'll be close or there or thereabouts next season. But I am still baffled by some of his thought processes and the position that he put the stadium into by bringing Trent on. I'll never understand that. Like, what was the best case scenario there? That Trent comes onto the pitch and what? I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. And I think that's one part of Arne Slot's decision making this season that's frustrated me, is sometimes he's taken, like he took a team that was going in a half-time 2-0 up, everybody partying, the sun shining, Anfield celebrating, banter going back and forth, and then we come out second half and look like we don't give a damn. And he waits till 65 minutes? And it was only going one way. Once Arsenal got the first goal in that second half, you could only see that game going one way, and yet again we allowed it to happen. Where's the fight? Where's the spirit? This performance is all on Slot. Slot tactically has been crap at home. Starts off well and then sits back and allows the pressure to build. Subs were bad. Subs today made us weaker. Without any shadow of a doubt, substitutes made us weaker. I don't have any complaints, but I'm telling you now, we need to sort out this Canade contract quickly, because if he's not going to agree to what the club want to offer him, then sell him, because we need to attack this window. No time for sentimentality, because that today, bringing Trent on, was fucking sentimentality, and I've no time for it. We need to be preparing ourselves for next season, and just because we've won the league doesn't mean we don't have to show up. Sonny Hughes said, Liverpool have become charity FC since winning the league. It's so annoying, isn't it? Like, you go 2-0 up at home. And a game where we all want to humble Arsenal. We all want to do it. Let's be fucking honest deep down. We all wanted to humble Arsenal today. And that game now feels like a defeat, because we let a 2-goal lead slip and Arsenal are going to go away feeling morally happier with the way that game went. You know, you can tell me we've won the league all you want. I'm just telling you how I treat these things. And if I was in that dressing room right now, I'd be asking questions. I'd be asking Virgil and Canade what the fuck they were doing. How they're able to just give Arsenal so much space unmarked in our penalty area over and over and over. Saka was turning the defenders inside out. And yeah, we just let it happen. Remember we played Chelsea and Enzo ran from the halfway line to our 18-yard box like a 15-yard force field around him that nobody could go near. Again today we've seen that over and over and over. Arsenal were picking up pockets of space in the middle of the park with 10 or 15 yards and nobody around them, and we just stood there. It's not good enough, not aggressive enough, not acceptable. Dave said first half played like champions, second half played like Sunday League. But we were also fortunate in the first half, Dave. Like, Arsenal could have and maybe should have been 1-0 up after 3 minutes. Saka could have put that away in another day. And that would have been, for me, the most angering situation. Because how many times this season have we conceded from that scenario? Every time we face a set piece, every one of our hearts are in our mouth right now. Because we know we're going to give up a chance. Even in the second half, when they had set pieces, it always ended up in a chance. Martinelli had a chance that if he had to put it either side of Alisson, they were ahead again. It's just not good enough. I don't want to see Trent in Liverpool shirt again. Tadigo v Shark. Owen and Wright calling Liverpool fans disgusting on how they've been treating Trent. I don't really care, to be fair, what they say. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Wright's entitled to his. Michael Owen's entitled to his. You, my good friend, are certainly entitled to yours, and I'm entitled to mine. and everybody else is as well. And Trent did what was best for Trent. And I'm not going to sit here and give him an attaboy for looking after himself and rinsing his club to make sure they get no transfer fee and that him and his family make more money. That's his prerogative to do so. But I'm not going to sit here and tickle his nuts while he does it. I'm going to sit here and call him out for being a slimy little snake that he has been, manipulating his contract situation to get himself out. That's my opinion on it, and I respect other people's. In the terms of man management, I don't know what was a digger slot to put Trent on, but my God, that was like a rookie decision, and I'm baffled how Owen is on the bandwagon. Poor old Trent. Of course Owen's on the bandwagon because Owen can't understand why he's not idolised at Anfield. Look, everybody is entitled to their own opinions. Michael Owen's entitled to his, Alan Shearer's entitled to his, Jamie Carragher's entitled to his. So am I. And my feeling is he's a snake. But I don't expect everybody else to just agree with me. I accept and appreciate other viewpoints on it. Kem said we need 2 new left backs, another right back, 2 new strikers, players to challenge Salah for a starting spot, another midfielder, plus a defender. That's what happens when you don't spend over the years. Yep. But look, as Brian said with the super chat at the end of the game, we also have got to be honest, we won the league. And that's brilliant. And we're forever grateful for that. But it feels like we're just missing opportunities to have more good times and good moments and good vibes. And I just don't understand it. I'd rather have seen Bradley sent off and us go down to 10 men than bring Trent on. I don't understand it one bit. I really don't. And as for, do you know what? I'm probably more annoyed that he brought Darwin on though. At least with Trent you think, all right, maybe Arna thinks Trent can pull out a moment. Maybe Trent can grab an assist or a goal and maybe that gets a bit of goodwill from the stands. At least I can think about that and think, all right, but why are we bringing on Darwin? Like, what do we expect him to do? He's been hee-hawing his way around the pitch for God knows how long. And the one thing he done today was, again, laughingly go into an offside position when it was probably harder to be offside than onside. He does it over and over and over again. And yet Arna thinks we should be rewarding him by giving him more appearances while Federico's sitting at home getting splinters in his arse. The real Johnny Sin said we seriously need to consider Rodrigo now. Well, we're going to be talking tonight at 9 o'clock about the transfer window. And we have plenty of news that we're going to be going through. Links, stories, opinions. And we will be back at 9 to go through it all, my man. And I'm more annoyed at us defensively today than anything else. I'll be honest with you, because the forwards put 2 in the net. They've scored 2 goals. Second half performance from them was shocking, but they put the ball in the net twice. And we gave Arsenal easy goals. Easy. It's not like they were incredibly well crafted goals by Arsenal. We just gifted up 2 goals by not allowing ourselves to be switched on. By just allowing Martinelli to just stroll into the 18-yard box in between 2 centre halves who were standing there looking at him. And then for Marino's header. Marino's the only one who made a play to the ball while Van Dijk and Canadi were too busy putting their hand up praying for an offside. Tipsy Dipsy said, I'm not too sure what our style of play is. I don't think you're on your own with that one, man. I've been saying all throughout the season, I still couldn't sit here and explain exactly what Arne Slot's style of football is. And I've been somebody who's watched football and played it for many, 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 many years. And I'm as confused as you. If I was to summarise it in a few sentences, I don't know if I could. I'm still unsure of what it is because we've had so many peaks and troughs, if you get me. Like, we've had some points we look brilliant. Some points we look like we're on the money attack-wise. Sometimes we look like we're absolutely getting stuck in and we're crunching into tackles. And then other times we look like we've just met each other and they're absolutely exhausted. It's confusing. Bumbadog said, no issues with the booze. He's headed to our biggest European rival of the decade. He went from, I want to be the captain, to it's not about the money. Look, again, I respect your opinion and everybody else's on it. I just can't wait for the sooner the better. We don't have to talk about him anymore. And we don't have to talk about Darwin anymore because I'm just frustrated by them. Samurai Gaming said also, Craig, my other account was banned and I'm not sure what or why. Can you please unban me? I mean, just send me an email and I'll get Connor to do it. Send me an email with the channel link if you can, mate, and I'll get Connor to unban it for you. Will said Trent shouldn't have even been on the bench. Would have liked Ramsey recalled for the last few games. So I wonder though, does that give us another indication on Kwanzaa? Because Kwanzaa wasn't brought on today either. I'm trying to figure out in my head what the summer plan here is going to be. You know, we've had so many mixed stories regarding the forwards and who's likely to go. My two, and I've been consistent on this, I would sell Jota and I would sell Darwin. They would be the two I'd be looking to move on. I don't really understand why we'd want to get rid of Diaz. In all honesty, I like Lucho Diaz, and he certainly leaves it all out there on the pitch. And I think between him and Cody, we've got good options on the left. So for me, Jota and Darwin should be the two that are sold. Christian said, I'm with you on the Darwin situation. I'm a bit annoyed that Chiesa wasn't played and Darwin keeps getting minutes. I'm baffled by it, mate. For me, and I'm going to be honest, as I always am, as soon as El Burro put out that comment about, now I know why I'm not getting played, as soon as his greasy, slimy arse put that on social media, he would have never been playing for Liverpool again if I was the coach. He would have been training with the under-21s and he wouldn't have been let anywhere near the first team. Because you have just accused your manager and the football club of not playing you out of financial reasons. Not because you've been stinking the gaff up or because you've massively underachieved. He accused this football club, the one with the jersey that he wears on his back, of not playing him over €5 million to Benfica. One, wasn't true, and two, he's shite. And that's why he hasn't been getting played. So that, to me, we talk about standards and we talk about how we carry ourselves as a club and we talk about doing things in the right way and then we reward idiots like him. So what message does it send? That Federico has been a model pro, trained, sat on the bench with a smile on his face and done nothing and gets frozen out. And Darwin has accused the club of not playing him because of money. He has put up snidey social media posts. He's refused to go over and clap the away fans. And he's absolutely stunk the gaff up. And he gets selected week after week. What message does that send? About standards. About doing things in the Liverpool way. About respect. I'll tell you what message it sends. Fucking none. Michael Owen is probably the only player in history to be disliked by fans of every club he's played at. Kanade is no Matip. Big mistake from Arna playing Trent. Stevie Boy said Nunes should have left the club when Klopp did. Look, I only ever tried to give you my opinion. And if he put that social media post out when I'm coach of a football club, he wouldn't be getting near that bench again. Because he has called into question the sincerity, the professionalism of Liverpool Football Club. There's no getting away from that for me. It's shocking. Is it good or bad thing that we can't work out Arna? That's a fair question. It's a really fair question. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but it's definitely a thing. Bumbadog said Zakaria Al-Creedy for right back. Livramento can play both right back and left back. Yeah, so there's been links to Manchester City and Livramento, as well as Wesley, of course, the right back from Flamenco. Jonathan said, do you think Trent's about to do a Coutinho mistake? Look, I think Trent going to Madrid's a mistake. To me, it's a far more egregious one than Coutinho, because Coutinho wasn't a local. At least with Coutinho, you could say, well, he always had that desire to want to play in La Liga and a Barca dream. You know, we're going to hear now over the next few months that Trent was going to bed at night in his Zinedine Zidane pyjamas when he was a child. That's what you're going to be told now. You know, this has been his lifelong dream. Blah, blah, blah. So for me, it's worse. But, you know, just my opinion. The Liverpool Prophet said, this park in the bus, second half of the game from slot is really doing my head in, Craig. This isn't the Liverpool way. Look, I don't know if the instruction was to go out there and sit back. I can't see why it would be. But we did allow it to happen. And we didn't react to it. We didn't react to it when Arsenal scored the first goal. And we didn't react to it until they went down to 10 men. And then Arsenal dropped deeper. We allowed Arsenal to dictate the second half of that game. And whether that was under instruction from Arna or not, I don't know, because I wasn't in the dressing room. But I do know I don't like what I seen out there, and it leaves a bit of a sour taste in the mouth. I think we should do a swap deal. Darwin for Alvarez. At least we'll have Torres 2.0 with Alvarez. Well, there was a report today that suggested that there was a 150 million euro release clause in Julian Alvarez's contract. Now, that isn't to say that I think Liverpool will pay 127 million pound, but I think we'll get an indication. If Darwin doesn't go to Atleti, I think we might get the indication that we're not going to get Alvarez. So that's an interesting development that I want to look at. What's the first moves? Who goes to the Saudi clubs in the early parts of the window, and what business is done during that June 1st to June 10th period? Let's take a look through some of the numbers, by the way. And don't forget to vote for your man of the match, as that poll is up, I believe, is it? Yes. Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz, Connor Bradley, or Ryan Gravenberch. Do keep voting away. And of course, if you want to submit your player ratings to be included in our player ratings video, you can do so with the link also pinned to the chat. Slot is really grinding my gears with his style, said Eli Woods. Others are catching on. Liverpool Prophet said, I would hope once Slot gets his signings in the summer, we'll improve a lot. Certainly, it hasn't felt like much of a celebration on the pitch since we've won the league, has it? Go and lose 3-1 to Chelsea and then race into a 2-goal lead at home against Arsenal and let them back into it. It's, yeah. And what really annoys me about that is if anybody should have been flagging in that second half, it should have been Arsenal, who played the game midweek. Eli Wood said, sometimes calm as you like can look lazy and uninterested. Yep, and that's certainly how our centre-backs look to me today. Just not good enough. Craig, do you think Salah should have been taken off? So, the answer I'm going to say is who would have replaced them. But performance-wise, yes. But options from the bench, who's going to come on and play in the right wing? There wasn't really anyone. Like, he brought on Nunez and he brought on Jota. And if Darwin had have been substituted as part of, or excuse me, if Mo had have been substituted as part of that, I don't think any of us could have complained about it, because again today, particularly in the second half, he gave the ball away more than he contributed in a positive sense. You know, again, I'm just trying to give you my honest opinion of it, and there's no denying what he's done this season, but he's certainly slowed down over the last few weeks and months. And it's concerning, because if we're so reliant on one man to do it, and that one man isn't doing it, it does leave you scratching your head to think, shit, where's this goal scoring and creativity going to come from? And I hope Arna has an answer for that. Barry said, we took our foot off the pedal and cannot keep doing this. Eli said, the commentary team noticed how the mood in Anfield shifted second half, not just with Trent coming on, but before that, how the team was playing. I know. You can sometimes just, I don't have the sound on, but I could get that eerie feeling that it just wasn't right in there second half. And it went from being a celebratory atmosphere to one where people were just frustrated. And I don't know, but the men, women and children leaving Anfield today, I don't know how they all feel. But I would imagine there's quite a sense of frustration in a lot of them, because they probably went there today hoping that the champions put Arsenal in their place and underlined why we won it. And we did that for 45 minutes, and then the second half, again, just frustrated. And that's how I feel as a fan, frustrated. Ian Griffith said, the way we're playing, we're going to lose our remaining games. We're so poor at the back, it's like under 11 school kids. We have been shocking at the back. Big Bud said Robbo played his heart out. You probably noticed, though, I haven't been critical of Robbo's defensive work today. I criticised his attacking stuff and not being able to shoot, but yes, I do agree. He worked hard today. Even at times when he was outpaced, he tried to fight back and defend. So look, I'm not going to criticise Robbo defensively today. Offensively, I still don't know how any professional athlete can be so bad at shooting, but, you know, that's for another day. And we know we're going to be looking to upgrade that left-back spot anyway. Craig, should Chiesa play next game? Then Nunez. if I'm in charge, I don't want to play anyone that's up for sale because I don't want to run the risk of them getting injured. So Trent, I wouldn't play because he's gone. Darwin, I wouldn't put near the pitch. Jota, I would keep in the matchday squad, to be honest, because at least he tries. Costas, I probably wouldn't play for the reason that he's going to be sold. But my big frustration today is the space that Arsenal found at times and the state of our centre-backs defending. They're the two things that I'm going to take with me today that have wound me up. How Arsenal were given so much time and space over and over again, and how our centre-backs look like they've just met each other. Christchild said Jones holds the ball for too long, thinks he's Maradona. He does. He does take too long out of the ball, and that is a criticism I think many of us have had of Jones. No denying the energy levels he brings, no denying the work rate out there on the pitch, but yeah, the taking too much out of the ball thing. It feels like he still thinks he's playing with an underage team, that he's the best player on the park and needs to force things to happen, whereas he's surrounded by top level pros and needs to be, in my opinion, just giving the ball a bit quicker. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back tonight at 9 o'clock for a late night agenda. If you would like to contribute for the player ratings video, you can just click that link and put them in. Also, don't forget about our 2 end of season shows coming up at the Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool, May 25th and May 28th. You can get your tickets with that QR code. And again, thank you to our sponsors, Manscaped. We wouldn't be able to do what we do on a match day without their support. And whether you want to check out the Chairman Pro package, face shaving kit, or the Beard and Balls bundle, our friends at Manscaped have got you covered with 15% off and free shipping. That's 15% off and free shipping with the code Anfield15 or by using the QR code in the bottom right hand corner. Right, folks, I'm off to record the player ratings. Thank you all so much to everyone that joined us today. We always appreciate your support. If you can drop a like on the stream for me and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so, greatly appreciate it. But I hope to see you tonight, 9 o'clock, because we've lots of transfer talk to get through. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Much love. Bye-bye.